my own team didn't want me to come to this event tonight because they said that there were some uncooperative crusties and protesters of all kinds littering the road. And they said there was some risk that I would be egged on my way in here. And so I immediately asked the faint hearts in my private office, what would Margaret Thatcher have done tonight? What would Maggie do? And what would she have done? She took the extraordinary risk of sending a task force halfway around the world through tumultuous seas to recapture the Falklands. I think she would have crossed Whitehall to come to Banqueting Hall tonight. But what comes out so clearly from this book is that she was right, and she was so prophetic. She was right to have secret dealings with Nelson Mandela and the ANC to bring about Mandela's release and the end of apartheid. She was right to try to reform local government finance, by the way, even if the solution that she eventually chose, the one devised with characteristic brilliance by my friend Oliver Letwin, didn't turn out to be entirely popular. She was right to oppose communism and to encourage the fall of the Berlin Wall, and right, by the way, to oppose the loony left in London. One of the few occasions that I actually met her myself, someone, I think it might have been Charles, tried to explain who I was, and she said, "Ah, yes, London. Someone really ought to get rid of that dreadful man, Ken Livingstone." And I was too bashful to explain that I just had. And she was right about the euro. She was right about the ERM, by the way, wasn't she? She was right about the euro. And let's face it, she was right in her great 1988 Bruges speech. And if the continent, if our beloved continent of Europe, had followed her proposals then for the development of the EU, I believe a lot of our problems would have not arisen and been solved. And I hope, therefore, tonight, that when we go out from this merry gathering, and when we are waylaid in the streets, as I'm sure we will be, by importunate, nose-ringed, dreadlocked, climate change protesters, we remind them that she was also right before her time about greenhouse gases. And she took it seriously. She took it seriously long before Greta Thunberg. And the best thing possible for the education of the denizens of those heaving, hemp-smelling bivouacs that now litter Trafalgar Square and Hyde Park and the rest of London, the best thing for them would be to stop blocking the traffic and buy a copy of Charles's magnificent book, so that they can learn about a true feminist, green, and a revolutionary who changed the world for the better. And I propose that we all do the same. So, Charles, congratulations to you for your services to everything you've done for politics, for history, and looking at the insights and the beautiful way that you've written this book, I think also to literature. And ladies and gentlemen, I have one final reflection, which is that you may not know it, but not only could we do Charles the honor of buying his book tonight, but the finest birthday present of all we could give him is to remember that his birthday falls on October the 31st. And wouldn't it be a fine thing for the author of this magnificent book to have a very happy birthday indeed when that event falls. Thank you very much. Charles, well done.